Do.
We pick up the story as Yavana dimension doors Tellus into the streets outside the fighting pits, and then again, what seems to be into a hideout of sorts underground. It's very cramped, especially for how big Tellus is, but Yavana looks, holding, listening for a moment before letting out an exhale and then hugging and embracing Tellus as a smile comes across her face, and she releases you and says, "It's wonderful to see you. I'm so happy that you're all right."
I had heard and caught wind that you were here. Hadn't expected to meet you under such extenuating circumstances, but it is nice to see you again.
Yes, I agree, and I'm sorry if the fangs left any marks.
No worries. I've got tough scales. It's all right.
Very good. I heard quite a interesting story a ways away as I've been working my way through Mina, and when I heard a Minotaur had entered the fight pits, I was certain that it had to be one of you. Minotaur are nearly impossible to come across. With that, I found you inside the fight pits, and you seem to be one of the easier to rescue as Charnook was too far away from me. I was able to confirm with some of the others what the color of the Minotaur was, and that allowed me to prep enough time in 2 or 3 days in advance to get myself right place at the right time to try and save you and sneak you out.
Are you working with other people here?
Sadly, no, I've been mainly on my own. I have gotten quite a few nicknames as I have been causing quite a lot of problems for the people of Mina. I've been trying my best to track down one of the Inner Circle members that owes me quite a lot.
Do you care to elaborate on some of that? Are you under their eye? Are you under their watch? I'll tell you everything I know and about our story, as you've missed a lot.
I certainly would like to hear it. And no, I am not aligned with them or under their eye. They stole from me. They stole many things from me. It was when I was much younger, a few hundred years ago, and the people of Mina took one of their southern armies, an orc-filled army, and they marched on Thenowin. When they attacked Thenowin, our people fought valiantly, and they were able to defeat this orcish army through the aid of Galanakis, the king of Skoberheim at that time. He was a kind elf, and he was the one perpetrating the long peace between Thenowin and Skoberheim. What they took from me was my sister. She was killed during the attack with the orcs, but they couldn't let her rest. They couldn't let me have my sister back. The member of the Inner Circle known as Whitman, or the resident necromancer, brought her back to life and into his service. He brought his necromancy army upon us, and he is the one I have been trying to track down for some time. He looks different now, many more scars upon his face, obviously from more missteps. But I have tracked down where his stronghold is, and I just don't have the resources to go in to kill him and free my sister from his control.
Seems your goals and ours are very much aligned. Without getting into too much detail, we came here in hopes of rescuing Shalmir first and foremost. We'd hoped to find Redolf and obtain a cure for the madness that has overtaken one of our companions, Eve. She's a she's a dear companion and friend of ours, and she has the capability to bring Shalmir back for certain, but she's incapacitated with said madness. So we'd come here on wind that Rudolph was here, but she is. We
Yes,
had
just about everyone
procured
knows about that thanks to you collapsing in the Silver Palace.
Yes, that is.
I
that
thought
was
that
us.
had your name written all over it.
To be fair, we nearly took down the Inner Circle member. Her name escapes me. It's been a lot, but she was a magic user of some sort. Very much in love with cats, and yeah, we had managed to defeat her. She was on death's door,
quite a feat.
but she came back, teleported away, and then next thing we knew, the whole palace was collapsing on us, and we were captured. So,
if my research serves, finding their names of the Inner Circle members can be extremely difficult. So I'm unfamiliar with her name, but I know the second in command to the leader of the Inner Circle is a very powerful sorceress. Is this the one that you came across?
Sounds like her.
And that is no easy feat.
Yes, and what's more is that specifically to Tyrion, she did mention that in lieu of how well we fought and how things turned out, she actually sort of gave us a good deal and set us up with our mining gig here, spread out our fancy, cool magical items and weapons across each of the members, and sort of tasked us with eliminating all of them.
Very strange.
Quite strange.
Very strange.
It seems there might be some discourse amongst each Inner Circle member, and perhaps she just wants to end the cycle. I don't really know. She did request that we kill her last, so
even
I don't know.
Very troubling. I know the word in Mina, the grounds carry whispers of worry. They have continuous problems of madness throughout this land. People grow sicker and sicker by the day. Cities are brimming with the dead and the sick, and they need answers and cures as fast as possible. They need help as much as possible as well. They're in a desperate sort of circumstances that is going to be quite a problem even after we've gone from the lands of Mina.
Right. I fear we put Rudolph in quite the dire situation, because now the Inner Circle has caught wind that he's more than just the intellectual and healer that he claimed to be. He's quite skilled in dealing with madness, so I worry that his safety may not be... well, it's assured, probably, but the security around him is probably far and away harder to break into than what it was. But for now, we're working in the gladiatorial pits to slowly and surely garner attention and get our friends, out of the mines. It's really doing a number on me.
Yeah.
I still can't use magic, so...
Oh, right. As she sees that on you, there is a specific tool for that. And she reaches into her bag, and she seems to have a haversack of her own. And she lifts out this, looks like this specialty crafted clockwork device. And she puts it, into the collar, clamps down, almost like a blacksmith has that tool to take things out of the fire. Gives it a slow turn one way. Here's a click, a little bit the other way. Here's a click. And then like a full 360 turn until there's another click. And then one more turn back the other way. And then finally it clicks open and the collar comes off and you can start feeling the magic radiating throughout your body, and your HP maximum is all the way back to normal.
Whoa.
As she takes
That's
the collar
wild.
off, she puts it inside her haversack, and she puts the tool in there. This is something that is very difficult to come by, and we can't risk breaking. These are
Right.
made by few, and even fewer know how they're made, as she puts it away.
How
Interestingly
did
enough,
you acquire such a thing?
we all have our secrets. Some we're less proud of.
You're more nefarious than I thought you were.
I've become more desperate in trying to free my sister during these times.
Well, I'll certainly make sure to put that on the list of things to do whilst we're accomplishing our goal. At this point, we're basically just freeing this entire country, it seems. So,
You see her eyes grow wide, and she laughs at the idea. Excuse me?
I mean, if we're taking down the entire inner circle, I mean, the slave trade is sure to be crippled.
Surely, but you don't mean to rule the area.
Nonsense. Nonsense. Just set up something for the people, you know?
Certainly. I look forward to seeing what you have in mind besides anarchy.
Certainly not anarchy. That doesn't work.
From what information I gathered as well, there's been a strange meeting that has been called between the Inner Circle members. It would seem that Neverwinter was lost within the past day, and 3 of the Inner Circle members are supposed to be arriving inside one of the towers. If we could figure out which tower they're arriving in, we could potentially set a trap for the 3 of them, and maybe with luck recover our items. Some of your items, if they bring them with you. I don't think it would be smart to engage them. I think that would a fool's errand for the 2 of us. And we need to be working on trying to free more and more of our friends.
Right. Yes, we need to get anyone who can use magic. That needs to be fixed first and foremost. And I don't know what to do. I'm not sure how to get them out without being inconspicuous.
It's definitely going to be difficult for you.
They think I'm dead, so that's good, I would assume.
That does help. We'll have to disguise you in some way. You stay here, and I will bring food back for you. I'm going to go out and go try and find some information. I'm going to go get as much as I can to try and formulate a plan. You stay here.
You got it.
As Yavana crouch walks out of this hole you're in the ground, but there's a lot more green work inside here and greenery, and it's got a very pleasant smell, and it's very much like basically a hole in the ground, but it's enough to be nice, but not meant for you, man. You are cramped because of
a little too small.
Yeah.
Better than being collared up and chained in a cell, for sure. Man, what if she doesn't come back? That would be so awkward.
After about 6 hours, you see her
Jesus.
come back, take some stuff out of her haversack. You can see her with a bunch of cuts on herself, and she heals a bit as she gets in there, and she goes, okay, that didn't go quite according to plan, but what's done is done.
You alright?
Yes, I went to find some information, and the gold was running a bit low, and so things got a bit physical, but nothing I couldn't handle. Here you are. And she hands you some fresh meat and a canteen of water for you.
I'll chow down on those for sure.
I'm going to have to get you outfitted for weapons. I was trying to think of something, but here's a short sword for now. It's not very helpful. You can add 1 normal short sword to your inventory.
1 short sword. Let's go.
So at least you can use that, and you have your magic capabilities to you. You used the majority of my money while it ran short to try and figure out where the Ivory Tusks members would be staying in the next 3 to 4 days. That gives us enough time to try and get your friends out, or at least the magic users out, in the next 3 to 4 days. I think if we can get Tyrion out, that would be extremely helpful. I'm surprised Ulyrus hasn't figured out a plan yet to get you all out. I figured he would have been clever enough.
Ulyrus isn't with us anymore.
Is that so?
He's alive, but he's not with the group. He was, man, it's a long story. You missed a lot, but
yes.
Amongst one of our adventures, he sacrificed himself, and at the very last end, when we thought it was it, he was saved by some shadowy entity or something of that nature. I don't really know. It's hard to tell, but he's alive. I have had contact with him briefly.
Very good.
Just through voice magic. And he's doing what he does. So.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy to hear he's all right, and definitely not in the mines.
Right. Yes. He's Lord knows where.
Well, actually, speaking of knows where, do you know where you are?
Right now, or in the mines?
Well, yes, but the mines also travel nearly the duration of the entire peninsula.
Right. I'm not entirely certain, but we were mining for some this magical ore that just it was draining for myself and Tyrion and anyone else associated with magic. It was horrible. So I don't know if you know what that is, or if there's a specific region where they do that, but there.
That is what their biggest contributions have been towards the Cobalt Alliance. They call that Mage's Bane. It is a ore they found within the land of Mina, potentially from the past, that nullifies magical capabilities. And it's part of the reasons why I've struggled so much to get where I need to go in these areas.
That makes sense. Trying to recall what Tyrion said. Can't seem to remember right now. Give me a moment to ponder on that.
Certainly. But
can I, as a player, I make a memory check, because I generally don't remember where we were.
Sure, go ahead and make a history check.
Ooh, natural 18, 21.
You were taken to the Ivory Mines, is what Tyrion told you.
Right. I think Tyrion said we were taken to the Ivory Mines.
Yes, and the Ivory Mines run quite long, which is, I guess, good or bad news, depending on how you view it. You are actually extremely close to the Ivory City. You're not in the Ivory City per se, but you're close enough that you're within an hour walk of the Ivory Showcase, which is the arenas.
That's very strange, because when we had attacked, and can I try to remember the name of that inner circle member as well?
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
I don't know why I don't remember personally either. That's really annoying.
It's a lot of names.
Natural 15, so plus 3, 18. Cool.
Tyra.
Her name was Tyra. It just came to me, Tyra.
That's her name. Well, I've never heard it before. This is great news. As she takes out a journal that looks potentially like a journal of a crazy person, with all sorts of notes and stuff sticking out of it, and she has been doing lots of research, it would appear.
How does Yavana look?
She looks haggard. She looks tired. She's got lots of bags under her eyes, crow's feet. She has the new tattoos, very much reminiscent of Nissa from Magic the Gathering around her now, as her druidic powers seem to have come into their own more so and more. But she is definitely worn, and it seems like you're giving her a little more hope, as Mina is this endless desert of hopelessness that she potentially was giving up on hope as she was stuck out here for over a year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you guys
how
were gone a long
experienced
time.
does she look?
What's that?
How experienced and like matured does she look?
Much
outside
more
of that?
mature, but in terms of if you're trying to read, give me an insight check.
23. So I don't know how I have a +10 for that, but I do.
Hey,
Anyway.
she has definitely gotten more powerful, but not as powerful as she might have if she was traveling with all of you. It looks like a lot of her journeys have ended in frustration and without happy endings and without solutions, as she's been trying to find any information but hits dead end after dead end after dead end. She looks capable. She definitely seems to be able to take care of herself. She survived in Mina by herself for a year. And even through conversations, you can even recall there was little rumors from the individuals inside the Ivory Mines talking about this. They called her the Weeping Willow, that was going around and causing issues for the Ivory Tusks, and there was slavers appearing hung from willow trees that would pop up throughout the land.
All right. Yavana, I just want you to know, I mean, we've been through a lot, and I'm sorry that you weren't there for all of it, and that we scared you, and, you know, all that stuff happens, but we've all grown, we've all matured, myself for sure a lot, and we're going to do what we can to make it right, so I just want you to know that I'm going to make it right.
Make a persuasion check.
You don't have to carry the burden alone. 26.
You see her shoulders release a lot of stress, and a true smile comes to her face as she, thank you, Tellus.
You're welcome.
You'll have to tell me more about your stories now that we have the night to catch up. And I need to hear more about all of you. I've been so caught up in everything I'm doing. I've yet to really learn what happened to all of you when you were gone for so long. I gave up hope.
It is my pleasure to tell you the greater perspective of things.
For the sake of brevity,
regale her about everything and catch her up.
You tell her about everything from Ragnorum to the Orla fight to Ragnorum to the lanterns. What were they? Castle lanterns.
Well, also the Feywilds.
The Feywilds and
Castle lanterns. The Siege of Waterdeep.
Siege of Waterdeep, and then now here.
Yes.
They're so seasoned, my guy.
And
Waterdeep
the Witch.
is so seasoned.
Yes.
And then Tyra.
Yes, Waterdeep has seen some stuff.
And they're the lower level, which is hilarious.
Yes. Well, yeah, which is like, how are these? Yeah, it's just wild.
All right. That takes you guys basically the entire night, and then you both pass out telling stories back and forth, exchanging laughs, and you feel extremely comfortable with Yavana again as you guys pick up the friendship you had back at the mansion all those many months ago, and the next day dawns.
Very cool.
All right. I forgot last night. I have something that will hopefully help you. It's a spell I can cast on you. I can disguise your person for a limited time. It'll disguise you for a few hours so we can try and get what we need to get done, and you will look like a normal individual.
That would be helpful. Question for you, DM.
Yes.
Does Yavana strike any resemblance to Tellus to Melody at all?
I would say faintly, but definitely as in the way elves strike to Melody. Her race, very much so, and maybe Thenoan elves, very much so. But not... Yavana definitely has facial structures very different to Melody.
Okay.
Which definitely makes it a lot easier to warm up to her because it reminds you of such a fond, few memory you have.
Okay. And personality-wise, is she similar at all? Just
A lot more
curious.
serious. Melody was
Okay.
really upbeat, and that was one of the big attractions to Tellus. Was Melody was almost always dancing. She was always part of the fun. The two of you would instigate like crazy, and even the night you spend with Yavana triggers memories with Melody over the night time until you wake up in the morning. And you almost even slip calling her Melody in the morning when you end up waking up, because you were very familiar of adventuring out with Melody and going on these crazy quests, and a multitude of times coming home to the thrashing of your father and mother telling you you guys are going crazy and you're taking too many risks, and your uncle being like, just be smarter.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
Certainly.
That's super good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that as Tellus has grown, he is torn between those two things, and the seriousness that Yavana brings to the table and what he's seen and how he's grown is starting to / is a little bit more attractive than the playfulness. Not that it isn't,
Right. But
it's more of a shift of like, wow, I really appreciate that more now.
yes, he's grown up, and that's what it is. And I agree. I very much think that there's a place for where Melody was at time. You both were like that, and if you probably met Melody, it'd be a lot different today. You two of you would probably be you're both different people already.
Yes. That's all.
Dope. Oh, that's great. All right. I need you to make a deception check.
Okay.
As you and Yavana try to make your way outside. She's testing
Can
the
I
waters.
try to pump myself up before I do so?
Sure.
Cool. All right. So we're gonna be stealthy today.
Yes.
Stealthiest. That's my name. Stealthiest.
Mm-hmm.
Stealthiest. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
You don't have disadvantage, which is the good news.
Okay. So I'm glad I did that because I rolled an 8. So let me just roll my inspiration here.
Sure.
Oops. All right. 14.
Okay. So you do a really fine job. It's not the best, and definitely the most clever will be able to see through it. But as you were navigating the city, it's definitely enough. As your voice, you're able to try and mask it as best you can to fit the character that has been described to you as a tall, bald black man. That is the appearance that you're giving off. One of the commonplaces here, you see a multitude of races, and most of the individuals, human-wise, are of darker skin tones. It's a variety of blacks and browns in the hotter areas here. And it's not actually, you don't see a majority of them as slaves either. You see a lot of them as more like the working middle class and some of the higher-up nobles. A lot of the slaves tend to be more of the other races of creatures, and the humans themselves. You see a lot of the paler humans. They were the ones that were kept up at higher levels on the mines, but it's not like a hierarchy based off racism either. It's just the paler people more come from different parts of the world in which they're enslaving and abducting. The people that are local to this area, more of them are black and brown.
They're darker. Yeah. Well, it's because it's a desert, so
exactly. So that's
it makes sense. I got you.
yeah, just giving feedback.
Yep, you're good.
As you're out in the streets, and Yavana is talking to vendors and interacting with them and making... clearly she has made friends and going on her rounds to get herbs and make all sorts of foods. She tosses an apple your way, and she's just like, make sure you get your energy back up. We'll need it. As you go through the markets and you take into the bazaar of this marketplace that she dimension doored you towards, you actually are inside the Ivory City. And as you enter in, you can just feel the gravitas, the immenseness of the Ivory City. And there are all these ivory towers that are just these spires that look down miles and miles up into the sky. And you can see multitudes of people partying and exciting, like streamers come down there, and there's all these beautiful colors constantly hanging from ropes all across these towers, connecting to different towers and even smaller buildings. It seems like there is a clear, like the higher up you go, the better the quality of life inside the Ivory Tusk. Despite a lot of the smoke has risen to that height or higher from all the cooking, from all the food that's being made throughout the city. People shout over one another, and barters are constantly being made. Yavana multiple times warns you and grabs like peeking wrists trying to come in and take something from you, especially from the worrisome of them finding your illusion. She doesn't want to deal with that. And
oh, fun fact, my passive perception is 20, in case that helps, easily. By the way.
So yeah. Both you and Yavana make short work of anybody trying to give an upper hand on you. Even some of the games that might attract on a casual visit, you guys are on a mission to find an individual as she goes up to a warehouse and knocks on it, a passcode, and is let inside here. You can see a couple other individuals that look very similar to what your disguise is. One stands about 6'1", the other about 5'10". One has a long gray and black beard. The other one seems young. Both have shaven heads out here. The younger one that stands taller is more muscle bound, and they look to see her, and they both greet her as Weeping Willow as they nod their heads to Yavana. And Yavana goes, "Thank you. I have brought a friend. This is my friend Tellus." And they both wave to you. "It's good to meet you, Tellus. Tellus here
Likewise.
Was a part of what took down the Silver Palace. He is going to be a great asset in trying to make waves out here. And I know you acquired in the past my interest in making waves." And you see the one with the beard, the gray and black beard, a big, big smile comes across his face, and you see all these fake gold teeth in his mouth. And you see him go, "Weeping Willow, this is not the conversation I thought we'd be having. I thought the songs of New Order were tunes you did not sing." And you see her, "I am not speaking of New Order of any sorts, but Tellus and his friends certainly have made their mark known and have an interest in having a changing of the guard." And you see the smile persists. "A changing of the guard indeed, a changing of the guard, I see!" As he comes over to you, Tellus, and he goes to give like a 1-2 punch, but right before he gets close enough, he pulls back, shadow boxing you, and he goes, "Look at this fine man. This is wonderful. I don't know how you did it, collapsing the Silver Palace, but this has been on everybody's mind. This has been the talk of the town, that maybe those that sit in their ivory towers aren't as powerful as they seem."
Well, they're certainly not anyone to take lightly, that's for sure.
"How serious are you about this and your friends? I am a man of many resources, but I am not a man to waste his time. If you waste my time, your life is forfeit."
How trustworthy does this guy seem?
Give me an insight check.
21.
You notice a lot of his fingers are missing. It appears that this person has been caught a multitude of times doing things he shouldn't be, and he's been mutilated for it, trying to be made an example of. He even seems to have markings on him of sorts that seem to have indicate him as some sort of lesser, as you remember they were called as garbage, and he seems to be marked in such a way to indicate even worse than that, someone almost like an untouchable because of some actions he might have transgressed against. With a 21, he seems genuine in the sense of what he is talking about to you. He definitely believes in what he believes. Whether his intentions grow deeper than that, you have to ask a lot more questions.
Right. Okay. And what about the other guy?
The other guy is basically just listening to whatever this individual says.
All right. Cool. My friends and I, we came here for a friend. We came to free him from his bond. And we ended up getting wrapped up in it, and we ended up getting enslaved. I was only able to escape because of her.
Yavana gives a slight nod and goes, but if one escapes, and then another, and then another, and then you see the other one look at him and he just sort of nods.
Trust me, this is personal for us.
Oh, personal can be good, or can be taken too far if it's too much bravado, if it's too much blind, petty revenge. There are things bigger than personal problems. But
we tried bravado. We saw how that worked.
Fair point. Fair point. I am interested. If you and the Weeping Willow can acquire something from me, then consider trust made. And trust made means trust given. And I will be able to help you out with your friends to try and get them out of wherever they may be, even if it's in the worst possible place in the world, in the deepest parts of the Ivory Mines. I will be able to get them out, as they're not actually in the Ivory Mines, correct?
Oh, but they are.
He looks over to the taller individual to him, and he smiles again. He goes, "Now that is a shit show. That will be incredibly difficult to get them out of there. But that means you must be important that they stuffed you all the way down there. This is promising."
What would you have us do?
I would have you do this. The great cream of the Panthers, as he stands up higher and jumps on top of a box in this completely black, shitty room. All the windows are boarded up, and he comes up he's wearing like absolutely nothing, but as he goes up, there's like a tapestry that was over the top of it, just a crappy, there's like paint stains on a cloth, and he wraps it around him as he goes up the top, smiling again. There's that shine comes off the fake gold teeth he has inside his mouth. I will have you do one of the greatest tasks for the people of Mina. As he then throws off the tapestry around, there is an item of great importance that is hidden within inside the Ivory City. It only moves to certain locations throughout the day on a route I will give you in due time. I will tell you once I'm done with my story. As you, like, your eye perks up and you can see him be like, I will tell you. But as he's clearly crafting a story, this item is something of magic. It is what we will need to get people excited again. They call it a translator. One of the ways they keep the people weak inside Mina is keeping us ignorant. I am a man. I am a scholarly man. As you see him go, like, click both of his feet onto the crate, and he has his hand open, and he is pretending to thumb through a book. I have read the philosophies of the great eras, the endings of the collapse, and such beautiful ideas that the ivory leaders do not want the simple-minded to be burdened with. I say no. I say this is the pathway to freedom. It is a freedom I am soon to find myself. As he jumps back down off the crate, you acquire me the stone they use to fool so many of our dear brothers in bondage. And you bring that back to me, and I start spreading some wonderful news, and start teaching some wondrous ways of lands far, far away that do not have things called slaves, do not have things called masters, and we start to maybe turn the ideas of the simple-minded.
Very well. If you can sow the seeds of discord, I'll help you.
Wonderful. And if you return, Yavana, you will have your answer. As he nods. Here is where you can find them during the day. They come once a day, normally around peak time. They travel as a king would, like a little bitch shitting on a pot in the little baskets they carry them through. A few guards are with it, most too weak to try and attack them. But if you are as strong to take down the Silver Palace, try and find them. We can cause a bit of a distraction, divert them into one of the alleyways, and that will be the most vulnerable to take them. Get the stone that's inside, and be on your merry way.
All right. Fair enough. I'll do it.
Wonderful news. Then it is decided. Now leave. We both have places to be.
I'll nod and take my leave.
All right. As you leave, Yavana leans in and whispers to you, what I required of him is he's the who's going to know where the inner circle are going to be staying. If we do this right, we'll know their location, and then we can plan our infiltration to get some of your items back. And most importantly, Shalmir. That would be of most fortune if he's been brought with them.
Do you have a plan? I'm not great at the whole stealthy thing. Although, to be fair, it's a lot easier without armor.
Nah, noted. And also smells a lot better, too. But, yes, I have a plan. They might do their distraction in the alley, and I can actually cause a bit of a earthquake of sorts inside to lock them in, and then if we're lucky and quick enough, you can just push your way through, and hopefully no one has to get injured, and just take this stone from the center of the cart. I don't know why they bother carting around a stone, but stranger customs I have come across.
Fair enough. All right. Very well.
All right.
Let's get to it then.
Okay. Yavana has a really good check with her survival, so she gets into position. The two of you in position. Go ahead and give me a stealth check, Tellus.
A whopping 6.
As you're up on top of the alleyway, you do find yourself catching the attention of a lot of the locals that haven't seen your face around and giving away Yavana as you guys are sitting on a rooftop. You guys end up having to move your position, so it's not as optimal as where it might have been, and then relocate and quiet down again. And you're now on some of the opposite for the ambush, so it might be a little bit more difficult for your path route to try and take the stone now. But as the sun starts to set, actually it's around midday rather, the cart ends up being pushed into the alley after a whole bunch of individuals swarm it, trying to sell all sorts of stuff, and you can see the guards pushing them back, the whips coming out and cracking and stunning them, being like, "Get back, get back!" And finally, they turn into the alleyway, and then Yavana goes, "Here we go." She closes her eyes and starts shaking, and some of the buildings start moving back and forth. Everybody on their feet starts going, trying to keep their balance, and then from the ground, the alleyway entrances shape ground shift up. So then now the alleyway is completely blocked and they're locked in, and you see them going like, "It's a trap!" Tellus, I need you to go make an athletics check first as you spring out of your position toward the cart that they're carrying on their shoulders.
16.
16, easy enough. You land on the ground, both feet standing, and are able to keep your balance, and you're sprinting towards the individuals. You have 3 in your way, so I need the first one to give me a dex saving throw to try and dodge past the first whip.
18. Wow, that's a natural 18.
The whip cracks backwards, and you're easily able to dodge it, taking the guy's face and face planting him into the ground. The other 2 trying very hard to keep balance at each end, as 2 of them have come off the cart to try and stop you from getting there. The next one is actually going to be a strength check to push him out of the way to get right to the cart.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You knock him on his butt. He feels this incredible force and strange texture from your hand hitting into his face, and he slams down. As you then now approach the cart, the other one is trying to swing wildly at you with his whip. Give me a dex check as you rip open the side of the curtains that are down on this cart that they're holding to look inside for the stone.
Natural 17. Oh my god, these dex saves are
brutal.
Nice.
Dude, the whip cracks, you dodge underneath it, and then you smack his hand, and the whip goes to the ground, and he's still trying to balance so he doesn't lose the cart. As you open up the cart, you actually hear a shriek, and you see this young woman holding the stone inside the cart, maybe 9 or 10 years old, and you see her just screaming at the top of her lungs. What do you do?
Can I just snatch it?
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. 15.
Natural 16. As you go to take it, she takes it out of the way from you, and you see her go, no, no, oh, they're here for the stone. Except in a foreign language you don't understand. So sorry. What do you want to do? The other guards are now getting up.
I'm gonna cast a spell. I'm just gonna cast command at first level and just say halt, which means the target doesn't move and takes no actions.
How many people are you doing this to?
Just her.
Just her.
Actually, I can cast it at a higher level and target all of them. I think if I cast it at 4th level, yes, I cast it at 4th level, I can just say halt, and if they don't pass the save, then...
What's the DC?
17 wisdom.
Damn!
Did they all pass?
17, 16, 8, 14, 5.
Damn, so one of them passes and the rest of them are just chilling.
What did you say the DC was?
17.
16 was the highest.
Oh, I thought you said 17 was. Okay, that's awesome. Wow.
That's why I said, damn,
sick.
I'm like, they all fucking
You're like,
failed.
damn, you got them all.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, shit. They all halt in place as you hold out your hands, and Yavana concentrating, her eyes open. She's like, nice, now hurry.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab it and run.
Stoink!
I don't, wait, where? Yeah, I'm just going to take that, and I can probably dimension door somewhere, right?
Sure. 500 feet.
Does it look like there's a great location to go to, or like is there like a rendezvous point that Yavana and I talked about or something?
There were definitely fallback points, but you can easily teleport just back to the top of the roof with her, or to one of the fallback points, which was a couple alleys back.
Okay, then I'll just dimension door to her.
Okay, you dimension door to the top, holding up the stone and being like, got it. You see her, good. She drops the hall. You see all of them shaking, figuring out what happened. Why did you stop? And you can see the stone's gone. The stone's gone. And Yavana's like, let's go. And she grabs you and you dimension door out.
That's hilarious. Such an OP spell. It's just like
in these situations, yeah.
Yeah.
Just ask Torleaf how important dimension door was.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
All right.
Oh my god.
Yavana and you are back at her place. You guys have the stone and she in your hands, and she asks, could I see the stone?
Sure.
She grabs a stone and she goes and she says, talk to me in a language you don't know, that I don't know.
What don't you know?
I don't know. Just try a language and see if I know it.
Oh, gonna try speaking in Celestial?
She does not know Celestial, but with the stone, you see her listening to, and she goes, "Now that's interesting." And then she talks back in Celestial to you, and she's like, "This is a crazy artifact. I've never seen anything like it."
Wait, what? And can I like not snatch it, but I'll ask for
you
this
gesture
stone.
for it. She gives it back to you.
Can you try on me?
Do you speak Elvish?
Yes.
Then we'll do a different one.
I speak Celestial, Common, and Elvish.
Sylvan. She speaks Sylvan.
Cool. Okay.
So she speaks in Sylvan, and at first you hear it in Sylvan, but then like the strangeness of the rock passes over you, and like it's one of those things where you heard it the first time and it's like garble, and then you said it again in your head, and all of a sudden it has a little more meaning, and then you hear it a third time in your head and you understand it. It's just like strange sensation of
weird
rolling a word over and over to your head, and slowly like, oh yeah, that means this. It's almost like you trying to remember something. It feels like you're remembering what the language is, not so much that it's translating for you.
That's wild. Okay. I'll say that.
She agrees, and she nods like, something like that could really make a lot of people believe just about anything. The process itself just makes you feel special.
No kidding. We can really trust that guy with this thing? It's pretty powerful.
Kareem is... He's adventurous. He's grandiose. He's got great goals and aspirations, and he definitely bites off far more than he can chew. But I believe he means well. I think he can sincerely help us, and even giving him this, it'll just end up back in the Ivory Tusk's hands if he doesn't use it correctly. So...
Yeah. Well, hey, he'll take all the blame, I guess.
Exactly. And then if it's really an upside for us, because I have no stake in this.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, may as well get on with it then.
All right.
How much longer do I have in this disguise?
By this time, you guys have come back, and you've lost the time in the disguise. You played time cooling down, getting food, and playing around with the stone. So now it's about late at night, probably about 7 or 8 p.m. She can recast the disguise on you, and you can go meet in a completely different location with Kareem.
Okay, cool.
As you guys approach, you can see it's more of this outside area, and there's a lot more people. They're playing some sort of interesting game you've never seen with marbles and sticks, and there's all these areas and symbols drawn in the dirt, and people are trying to bounce the marbles off different objects into the correct locations of wherever these symbols are drawn, and there seems to be some scoring system going on. There's a multitude of people, and it's a very public setting, and you can see Kareem look over to the lot of you, and he goes, I heard it was quite a busy day in the bazaar. Did you happen upon something interesting? As he walks over away from everybody else who's still enthralled inside the game they're playing of marbles.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. I think you have something I want.
Can I, like, try to sneak it into his pocket?
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
7.
As you go to do it very subtly, he catches your drift of it, and you like sort of start fumbling, and he easily recovers from you. You get this master's like dexterity to him, and he's basically pickpocketed you before you even knew it. And you see him goes, excellent job. As he, as Yavana, you see her open up her hand, and she has a piece of paper in it already, and she's just like, God. There's this look of like, I hate it when he does this shit. He's like, as promised, this is great news. You have come back for me, you have your answer, and now we start working on your friends. One more task, and we will call it even, to get your friends out of the godforsaken ivory mines.
What would you have with me?
I would have something of great interest. One of our dearest friends here has a problem. There is a god that is a little too liberal with his beatings of many of the middle class here, thinks himself above us. If a injury was to fall upon him and his whip to go missing, and he would have to be bedside for quite some time, it would allow one of our good friends to possibly take over his role, transfer to some mines, start to befriend these interesting fellows that you could describe to me, and then maybe they could find their way to nicer quarters and less protected quarters and even nicer places where there's barely any security.
I catch your drift.
Wonderful. Well, if you're up for the task, here is the all you need to know to find the individual. As he gives you another piece of paper, and his handwriting has this beautiful script to it. It seems like there is clearly pride taken in his penmanship. And for somebody
and he doesn't even have fingers.
Yeah. Well, on one hand. And even so, he's just like, I used to be a righty, so it's a little sloppy. Please forgive. It looks so nice. Like as nice as you Lyris, if not better.
Oh, God.
This is an interesting amalgamation of an individual that very much values education, scholarly, and academia, but clearly has no access or resources to it. And he's also got like the grime of this world on him as well.
Right. That's very intriguing.
You take that and have a wonderful night. And if it's done by tomorrow, then we are agreed. And everything is even. And I also have everything I need to start getting things in motion.
Very well.
All right. So you guys are able to leave. Is there anything else you want to do before you have to wait a night? The locations he gave you was a specific tavern. And Yavana explains to you that basically you're going to try and pick a fight, a sanctioned fight, and you're going to, inside this fight, try and break an arm or a leg of this individual.
Okay. If I have physical interaction while I have Yavana's disguise on, is that going to ruin it?
You'll have to see. Yavana suggests having a story and changing your appearance a little bit so that your skin looks a lot rougher and that you accidentally got hit with boiling water throughout the day type of deal, and potentially putting into your story of why you're angry and want to get a fight potentially brewing and take out your rage from all the disfigurement you're just recovering from.
That's an easy story to scrounge up. Suppose I'll get that in order and make my way to the bar and have myself a few drinks.
You got it.
Obviously, that's the day of.
Yeah. So all that happens, and the captain that has been described to you of the slaving guards, seems this bar is pretty split. There's a fair amount of middle-class individuals that partake inside here and a fair amount of the guards that call this place home. The one that you're looking for has a scar that highlights his left eye and is missing one of his front teeth as he walks in. He has relatively fine ivory tusk, red, maroon, and yellow armor as he comes into the place. And he orders a drink at the bar and takes his drink over to his table of all of his guard friends. And they all start talking.
As he walks in, I'm gonna just hum just a familiar tune from my memories with melody and whatnot to myself for a little bit of inspiration.
Sure.
I'm gonna do that, and Is there anyone in this bar that looks like they're particularly pissing me off? Or was the goal more so to just pick a fight with this guy?
More so to pick a fight with this guy and injure him, the captain.
Okay.
But there has to be some tact to it because they'll just start beating the shit out of you with a whip. It's got to be more of a try and challenge his manhood, Yavana suggesting, or whatever you can figure out. Something to get you in a fight where he wants to fight you.
All right. Weird. Do I have... I don't have any gold, do I?
You could try and steal some gold.
Oh. Let me just read the spell real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that might work. Okay. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this with tact and not get wrecked.
Yep.
So.
Good.
Do I notice him get up to go to the bathroom at all during the night?
Certainly you can wait for that. He pisses fierce just like everybody else.
Okay. That is definitely what I'm going to try to wait for.
Okay.
Is one of those opportunities.
Are you bringing this to work? Or did you forget about it?
I forgot about that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to wait for one of those opportunities, and then...
I was looking for all this stuff.
Okay. So, as we're in there, is there anyone else in there?
Yeah, there's in the bathroom. There's one more guard that came with him. In the bar, there's about 4 or 5 of the guards, and there's about 4 or 5 of the individuals, and Yavana's also there as well. But she has herself disguised as a normal-looking man.
Okay.
But in the bathroom, it's just you and the captain and one of his friends, and he's taking a long leak as he's talking to the other one, and they're exchanging vulgar stories about women at the moment.
Okay. Hey, you.
As he starts finishing up his piss, and you feel a little tie off of his undergarments as he looks over and goes, "Hey, you, what do you say?"
Sounds like you're talking about my sister.
Your sister? And you see the one goes, Captain, I think this one's had a little too many to drink tonight. I don't think a man of your stature, we'd notice a skin condition as bad as yours. Isn't that right? You see, Captain, I certainly wouldn't lay with somebody as ugly as your family might bring home.
Good man. Stake your honor on that claim. Take that back now.
Honor on that claim? I am a respected god of the Ivory City. Do you know who you're talking to, petty noble? I could have you whipped right here.
Care to stake your manhood on that?
Make a
one-on-one? Mano a mano?
Persuasion check.
Okay.
It's actually a deception. This is definitely a deception check.
Okay.
It's a deception check.
Good thing I rolled for my inspiration again. Saving my ass tonight. Ooh. Okay. That brings it to a 19.
Take care of the garbage.
Mom,
Nice.
just no. Okay, hold on.
Yep, go for it. Let's get it started. All right.
So
Recording
anyway,
again.
that's taken care of.
Great.
Now instead of fighting my mom, I can fight this guard. So it was a 19 after my whatchamacallit, my
rolled a
inspiration roll.
natural
I
9.
got a 9 on the die, and I rolled a 10.
He got
for
a
my
9 on his
perception.
die as well, but there's not a modifiers for he is a hothead.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
You see him in the pissing troughs of this outhouse bathroom, which is basically the back alleyway behind the tavern. It is not hygienic at all and disgusting. And you see him go, "You want to challenge my honor on this? Oh, I'm going to enjoy beating the shit out of you. You take a note of this," as he goes to approach you. And he takes out his whip, and you see a crack go up, and he has the other fist. He goes, "I'm gonna put you right in your place, you loudmouth, bad-skin motherfucker." Roll initiative. Ooh.
Wow, 21? Who is this character?
Damn! Take
What
the
is
armor
going
off
on?
Tellus.
Yeah. That's weird.
All right. His foot goes down, and you see him start to rear back the crack of the whip, but you're quick on your first move. What do you want to do? You get to go first.
He has the whip.
He is. He is a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit. Hmm. All right. I'm going to. Hold on. I just want to see something. You said I have to injure him, right?
Yeah, he's got to break a limb at some point. You beat him unconscious. That might be a goal, too.
Okay.
Up to you.
All right. I'm just gonna say, man. You don't have to resort to such foul play in a gentlemanly duel. And I'll vicious mockery at him with that.
Jesus. All right.
So he has to make a wisdom save of 17.
Natural 19 saves.
Yikes. Alright, so nothing happens. That's unfortunate.
All right, it's his turn. He rolls to attack you. The whip comes crashing down, and he goes, I'm just resourceful. I use everything that's at my disposal. Fuck. That is a 23 to hit.
Oh, it hits.
The whip cracks down onto you. I need you to make a con saving throw.
Thank God I'm good at those.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
20. Total.
You are
Wow.
not stunned, but you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. As it cracks into you, and you see him as the stun doesn't work, his eyebrows go up, and you see his armor sort of shake a little bit. He takes his gauntlet. Oh, now you've really pissed me off. It's your turn.
Ah, see, now we're on the same page. And I'll try to do the vicious mockery again as I say that.
Go for it.
It's just a wisdom save 17. Yeah.
That is a 13.
Alright. I gotta roll damage on that.
Go for it.
He takes 10 damage. Wow,
Fuck.
that was a good roll.
Fuck.
10 psychic damage. And the next attack has disadvantage against me.
You see him. Shut up. Shut up. And you see. Oh, that's a natural one. With the next attack, he's flailing and he's missing you as you're talking shit to him, and you're dodging in and out, weaving. As you see him, like, and you see he's like, Captain, what's happening? And you see him, he's like, you got this, Captain. He's like, shut up. Tears start coming down his face. Dare question my honor?
And then I'll move in for some unarmed strikes.
Go for it. It's your turn.
I got a 24 to hit.
Hits.
And 28 to hit. Holy shit. I'm rolling good.
You don't have your Storm Giant belt, right? That's not on, right?
No. My natural strength is 18.
Holy shit.
So, yeah. So I'm actually, like...
for such
not having it isn't the worst thing in the world. But it still sucks.
For such a lumbering lizard creature, you're dodging underneath the whips, and you come up, crack, uppercut, crack, another uppercut. You see him...
How's he looking?
More of his teeth come out. You see him spitting out chiclets.
I'm actually going to do two things here.
Sure.
Actually, just one. No, two. One. Yeah.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Because both of those hit, I'm going to use my defensive flourish to add my Bardic Inspiration die to the damage I just rolled.
Go for it.
I can do that twice because it says whenever an attack hits.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say weapon attack. It literally just says attack. So. Sure. So I'm just going to expend those, and then I get to add those die rolls to my AC until the end of until the start of my next turn.
You got it.
So that's 2 more bludgeoning, and then 7 more bludgeoning. So now my AC is 19.
You knock him out on his ass with that much damage.
Let's
Uppercutting,
go.
he falls to the ground, and you see Yavana coming out from the disguise that she had, and the other guy looks and goes, Captain! And you see her just give a wave of her hand, and it turns into a cow, the other guy that was there, as she polymorphs him.
That's hilarious.
And you just see this like, and she's like, very good beast, as she drops her disguise, and she's patting it on the head.
That's amazing.
As you see, he's on the ground, spitting blood, and you see her take the whip up, and she goes and like unscrews the bottom of it, and she starts like disabling some of the magical components and crossing out runes. She's like, you're the stronger one. Up to you to give him a long needed vacation.
I'll jeez. What's like the least painful way I could injure this guy? As much as I don't like anyone here, I don't want to like be cruel, you know?
Certainly.
Should I armbar him? Like what do I do here?
I have... I'm trying to Google.
That's fine. I don't know. Should I just bash his head on like a counter or something for a concussion and just like call it there? Like I don't know. Because I guess he would be knocked out in that scenario. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Well, it's up to you. You make a choice. I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go for the concussion protocol here.
Okay.
And just bash his head. Not like hard. No, we're not gonna do that. I don't want to risk killing this guy. I'm gonna just break this dude's arm.
Okay.
Like Bologna style.
Okay.
Not as bad, but like we're gonna
just give him a firm break. You basically give me a strength check as you grab his arm, and he's like, "What are you?" And you're just gonna try and.
Wow, 8.
8.
Of course.
You know what you thought you could crack like a glow stick is a lot more difficult. And you crack it with your strength, but way more painful than what you intended. And you can tell the crack is not an even break, and it definitely went up through the arm.
It's from my sister. I'll kick him in the face and then walk out.
All right. Covered in piss and beat up on the side alley next to a cow, Yavana walks away with you, and she's like, I think that'll do it. As you two walk through the bazaar, as you see all those, very much think Aladdin from any of the Aladdin versions type of the way the structure is, or anything from the bazaars you would have seen in the Middle East. You guys walk through there, and you end up back at the safe house. You wait enough time before you can go see Kareem again. As Kareem sees you, you're always finding him in a new location with a new setting, a new surrounding of people. He always seems to be on the move. And on this time, you see him.
He's so elusive.
He's by some what looks to be some chicken fighting pits, and as people are in these back alleys Yavana takes you to, you don't even see him before he comes up behind you, and he does like a little roll, like his shoulders on your shoulders, and he rolls around you, and each of his feet are shaking as he's dancing, as he's has a jig, and he's like kicking out his feet, and as he's doing this dance back and forth, the feet are being kicked out. You're having the smells of all these compact, sweaty individuals betting over chickens fighting to the left side. You see him look towards you, and he goes, "Oof. Do you hear that dance? Do you feel the soul? That is the dance, the song, the whispers of rebellion." I heard an unfortunate event happened last night at a local tavern.
Truly unfortunate.
It seems like he'll be unable to take those promotions, and it seems like one of our dear friends is on his way to the Ivory Mines. Oh, seems like everything is working out just the way it was meant to, as he smiles, again revealing the golden teeth. I believe the fates have been on our side this entire time, bringing you, me, and the Willow together. And you see Yavana just very impassive, not giving any emotions, being as hard as possible to read. As he smiles back, ignoring most of your guys' refusal to become warm. Tell you what, I need you to keep making stories. If you can accomplish something incredible, I will be able to spin wondrous songs about it. I know, and you know, of a very special place. A very special place where a very special somebodies will be staying. And I think some of my dear friends might want to give you a vacation stay for the weekend for the new lovely couple here. And maybe you'll wander your way into some helpful artifacts. And boy, could you imagine the shame of the greatest masters who can read thoughts of their slaves if they were bamboozled, if they were stolen from. Oof, there would be hell to pay.
Indeed.
Indeed,
hell to pay.
Well, I guess I'll just have to dream, because something of that sort could never happen unless you had the all-exclusive medallions to get into the suites. But alas, this is beyond even my powers. So we will have to dream about it. I thank you for your help so far, and next we meet, hopefully your friends will be that much closer to freedom.
Very well. Thank you, Kareem. If I may ask a question.
Oh, you may ask a question of the Great Panther.
It is unrelated to any of this, really. It's more so just curiosity. You're a man who values education, yes?
Of course, it is the only way to freedom.
What do you know of the collapse?
A fascinating point in time. I have had many theories about the collapse that happened. Something that may have been slowly decaying over time until a point of brink. Something the people of Mina have at their advantage is we get to see the collapse. Many don't understand it because it's hidden between the mystery of the years. But when you excavate down, the layers of the earth are pages of a storybook. And inside the earth is the greatest secrets of all. And who but us diligent miners have but the greatest of secrets, my friend. I will give you one of the secrets because you've been such a good friend to me. The collapse is so fascinating because it seems as though the people before us were not dumb. They were not without. And they still befell the same fate of many of our ancestors. The deeper you dig, the more bones you find of great civilizations we have no names for, and kings lay buried into the depths. The amount of crowns we've pulled from Mina, deep rusted, but cleaned enough where you can see some of those glistening gemstones. They exist below the very feet of the desert we call our abode. The collapse is a interesting time. It is something that I have many theories about. I think it is something that happened not too quickly, but with some abruptness that everyone was just blind to. Just like the wave crushes against the rock and erodes away until it suddenly cracks, not knowing how weak it truly was on the inside.
Interesting. I know not really of the collapse. I just know that it exists.
You know its name here, so you've tickled my fancy for history. He's stroking his beard. Again, glistening smiles from his golden teeth seem to be a constant with this individual.
Well, truly, thank you, Kareem. And I do hope that next we meet, that you're able to fulfill what you said you could.
I give you my word, and the word of the Panther is final. As he takes one more smile and twists his way back into the crowd.
Cool.
As you and Yavana start walking back, Yavana looks to you. So what do you make of all of this?
Sounds similar to... I mean, it sounds similar... Wait, are we in public?
At the moment, but you're almost back, so you can wait till you guys get back to her hideout.
Wait till we get back to the hideout.
You get back to the hideout, and she's made some more room for you, so it's more comfortable. She has dug out more of the earth, and you can at least, like, stretch yourself out.
Stretch? Yeah.
After a few nights of being cramped, she found some time to make sure you were all right.
Well, seems pretty similar to what we were planning to do, in a way. Maybe not so soon, but, you know, in a way we had sort of talked about sowing the seeds of discord. So I'm certainly on board with that. But it is a bit risky. I don't know if I fully trust Kareem, but he's the only hope we have, the only chance we have, and if we can get my friends out, then that is certainly all the more. And his intel was on point, so wherever he gets his knowledge, I certainly can't complain.
Kareem has... they call him the Panther, but he is more of a master of secrets. He has the ability, he's gotten the nickname the Panther, to creep unnoticed and become the fly on the wall that you always wish you could be in the most important of circumstances. He has a charm to him that lures people in, but like I told you, he's always more ambitious than what's capable of him. You're right not to trust him. I don't trust him. I think there is plenty of aspirations he has that he wouldn't dare share with us, and that is something that is troubling. But again, I have no stakes in who lives and dies in Mina. It is whatever it happens. If you upset the balance of Mina, it's honestly fine by me. As long as I can get my sister free and get you all free, then it'll be fine.
I agree, but I would not like to see a fate befall Mina worse than what's already happening, as horrid as it is now.
I agree. I don't know what could be much worse than Mina. Maybe falling to madness would be about it.
That, I think, might be worse. At least there's a semblance of order here. Now.
Agreed. As she sits
The
down
madness
and tries to get a little more comfortable, you see her go, ow! And then she sits up a little bit, and then she pulls out of her pockets 2 medallions. You
What
see,
are those?
She turns it over and you see a note. I fucking hate him. As she hands you one of the medallions, and you see her look at the note, crumple it up, and then throw it away. It seems like we have somewhere interesting to stay in a few days.
Hopefully more comfortable than this.
Certainly so.
What is the setting?
It is in one of the highest ivory towers they're staying in. A smart choice. It is one of the most famous bathhouses in all of Mina. We'll be staying inside the Credence Tower. We have...
Does that name mean anything to me?
Go ahead and make a history check.
History. 5.
Nah. Just a name.
Okay.
And we'll be staying on one of the highest floors, it would seem. This is good fortune.
Is this typically a getaway for couples or something? Do we have to act a certain way or behave a certain way?
Typically.
Right. Well.
So, just, don't insult each other, and I think we'll be fine.
I certainly have no intention of doing that with you, Yavana. I actually grown quite fond of you in the past. How long has it been?
About 3.5 days.
3.5 days. 3.5 days we've had together has been quite a nice relief from my normal.
The feeling's mutual, Tellus. It's nice to actually talk to somebody for a change instead of animals.
Animals have their charm too.
They do, but lack discourse.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to turn in for the night.
And I certainly missed having female companionship that was outside of Ohana. She's a bit different. She's kind of... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
She gets a little wide-eyed as you both just acknowledge.
We're both kind of like, ugh.
And there's a hard arrow shot at Heel Thornton as the boat explodes in a memory.
Yep. Oh, man. All right, cool.
At that, we can end our session, as the next time we play as them, you will be trying to steal from the Ivory Tusks, as the other players will be dealing with this strange new captain.
That's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
All right, so I'll end that.
That was a fun little session.